I was 3 months from death when my daughter posted a video calling me an abusive monster. That's when I ordered the DNA test that saved my fortune. The moment happens in a hospital waiting room. Chemo day, cycle 4 of 12, I'll never complete. My phone vibrates, a notification from Instagram. Olivia posted something. My daughter doesn't usually post on Wednesdays. She saves content for weekends when engagement peaks. She taught me that. Taught me a lot of things about her world I'd never understand. I tap the screen. Her face fills the frame. Ring light glow, hair deliberately messy, the kind of messy that takes 30 minutes to perfect. She's sitting in what looks like her apartment, but the background is blurred just enough to seem intimate without revealing details. Professional. Everything about Olivia is professional now. I need to talk about something really difficult, she says. Her voice has that soft, wounded quality she uses when she wants sympathy. About my dad. The video has been live for 6 hours, 2.1 million views, 87,000 shares. I watch her cry. Watch her tell 2 million strangers that I'm a toxic patriarch who controls every aspect of her mother's life. That I've been financially abusive for years. That she's finally finding the courage to speak her truth. Your daughter is so brave for speaking out, reads the top comment. 14,000 replies branch beneath it like a disease. The woman sitting across from me in the waiting room looks up from her magazine. Our eyes meet. She glances at my phone, at Olivia's face frozen in manufactured anguish, then back to my face. Something shifts in her expression. A recognition, maybe. Or judgment. A nurse calls my name. I stand. My legs feel distant, like they belong to someone else. If you've ever been blindsided by someone you trusted completely, leave a comment below. Sometimes just knowing you're not alone helps. The nurse leads me down a hallway that smells like disinfectant and resignation. Room 3B, same room as last week, same chair, same IV pole with the wonky wheel that squeaks every third rotation. Dr. Harrison wants to see you first, she says, before treatment. That's new. Dr. Harrison doesn't waste time. He's good at his job, which means he's efficient with bad news. The CT scan images glow on the monitor behind him, cross-sections of my liver, my lungs, my bones, places cancer has decided to make a home. The tumors aren't responding to treatment, he says. We're seeing progression in the liver and new lesions in the lumbar spine. I nod. I understood the moment he said progression. How long? I ask. 6 months, maybe less. Victoria sits beside me. She's been on her phone since we walked in. Her thumbs move across the screen in rapid, purposeful strokes. Texting someone. I can see the blue message bubbles multiplying, but not the words. Dr. Harrison continues talking. Clinical trial options, palliative care, quality of life considerations, important words that Victoria doesn't hear because she's still typing. Mrs. Parker, Dr. Harrison says, do you have any questions? Victoria finally looks up. Her face is perfectly composed. The same face she wears to charity galas and homeowner association meetings. So we should postpone the European trip? The room goes quiet. Even the air conditioning seems to stop humming. Your husband has 6 months to live, Dr. Harrison says slowly. I heard you. Victoria tucks her phone into her purse. But we've had Paris booked since February. I just need to know if we should reschedule or cancel outright. There's a difference for the refund. Dr. Harrison looks at me. I see something in his eyes I've never seen from a doctor before. Pity, not for my cancer, for something worse. "26 years ago, I signed documents that would change my life. Parker Technologies. Founded in a 2-bedroom apartment in San Jose with 3 maxed out credit cards and a partner named Kenneth who believed in the impossible. We were going to build software that made cloud computing accessible to small businesses. Everyone said we were too late. Amazon and Microsoft already owned the space. We did it anyway. I remember the night we got our first major contract. Kenneth brought champagne, cheap stuff, $14 from Trader Joe's, but it tasted like victory. We sat on folding chairs in our rented office, 200 square feet above a Vietnamese restaurant, and planned our future. "What are you going to do with your share?" Kenneth asked. I looked at the contract, $750,000, more money than I'd ever imagined. "Olivia," I said, "I'm doing this for Olivia." She was 3 months old, sleeping in the next room of our apartment while Victoria and I took turns working night shifts. Victoria handled marketing. I handled code. Olivia handled screaming at 2 a.m. Kenneth raised his plastic cup. "To Olivia, then." I pulled out the founding documents, standard incorporation papers, partnership agreements, stock allocations. At the bottom of the last page, there was space for a personal dedication. Most people leave it blank. I didn't. I wrote in my cramped engineer's handwriting, "For Olivia, so she never has to worry." My signature went below it. William Parker, founder and CTO. I signed that document with my daughter sleeping in the next room. I had no idea she wasn't mine. The house feels different when you're dying. You notice things you've walked past for years without seeing. The crack in the hallway ceiling, the loose floorboard near the bathroom, the way light comes through the kitchen window at 4 p.m. and turns everything golden for exactly 11 minutes. I notice the empty frame on the mantel. It's been there since we moved into this house, 15 years. An ornate silver frame Victoria bought at an estate sale. A moment of impulse after too much wine at a fundraiser. Our wedding photo lived in that frame, the two of us on the courthouse steps, young and stupid and convinced love was enough. Now there's just the dark wood of the mantel, a rectangular outline in the dust where the frame used to sit. "Victoria," I call, "where's the wedding photo?" She's in the kitchen. I hear the refrigerator open, close, the clink of a wine glass. "What photo?" she calls back. "From the mantel, the silver frame." She appears in the doorway, glass of white wine in hand. It's 2 p.m. on a Thursday. "Oh, that old thing. I put it somewhere." "Where? Does it matter?" She takes a sip. "It was cluttering the space. I'm trying to create better flow in the living room." I touch the empty spot. My finger comes away gray with dust. The outline is perfect, preserved like a photograph negative. This frame sat here through Olivia's childhood, through company launches and school plays and Christmas mornings, through everything we built together. "When did you move it?" I ask. Victoria shrugs. "A few weeks ago, maybe a month." "William, why does this matter? You have bigger things to worry about." She's right, of course. I have 6 months to live. An empty frame shouldn't register, but it does. I find the photo later, in the garage, stuffed in a box of old magazines we keep meaning to recycle. The frame is gone, probably donated, but the photo remains. Someone tore it in half, roughly, angrily, right down the middle. Victoria's side is gone. My side shows me in a cheap suit, grinning at something just outside the frame. I don't remember what made me smile that day, can't recall the joke or the moment or what came after we left the courthouse. I only remember thinking I'd found a partner, someone who'd show up. Kenneth finds me in my office at Parker Technologies. I've been staring at quarterly reports for an hour without reading a single number. The words blur together. Revenue, projections, growth. Words that used to mean everything. "You need to go home," Kenneth says. "I'm fine." "William." He sits down across from my desk. Kenneth Chen is 54, same as me. We started this company with nothing, built it into 240 employees and 63 million in annual revenue. He knows me better than anyone. He knows I'm lying. "Victoria hasn't visited you at the hospital," he says. Not once without someone else present. I set down the report. She's busy. Doing what? Kenneth, I pulled the visitor logs. He leans forward. Every time you've been in for treatment, Victoria checks in at reception, stays for exactly 45 minutes, and leaves. But she's never alone. Marcus is always with her. Marcus Reed, Victoria's personal trainer, 6'3", 32 years old, arms like tree trunks, and a smile that makes middle-aged women forget they're married. I've met him twice, both times at the house, supposedly discussing Victoria's wellness journey. He drives her, I say. She doesn't like parking at the hospital. Kenneth slides a paper across the desk. Hospital visitor log printed on official letterhead. 6 entries over 3 weeks. Marcus Reed signed in every time. Duration of visit, 40 to 50 minutes. Checkout location, cafeteria. They're not visiting you, Kenneth says quietly. They're meeting each other. I look at the log, the timestamps, the pattern. When's the last time Victoria touched you? Kenneth asks. The question hangs in the air like smoke. I try to remember, try to pinpoint the last time my wife reached for my hand, kissed me, held me, touched me with something other than clinical obligation. I can't. She's dealing with a lot, I say. My diagnosis was 4 months ago. William, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help you see what's happening. Which is what? Kenneth stands, walks to the window. Our office overlooks downtown San Jose, 19 floors up. We used to joke that we could see our old apartment from here if we squinted hard enough. I don't know yet, he says, but something's wrong. And I think you need to find out what before it's too late. Olivia posts her second video on a Saturday. I'm home, supposed to be resting. Doctor's orders after Thursday's treatment left me vomiting for 6 hours straight. Victoria is out. Brunch with friends, she said. She'll be back by 3. It's 4:30 when my phone explodes. Text messages, dozens of them, from colleagues, from distant relatives, from people I haven't spoken to in years, all saying the same thing. Have you seen it? Are you okay? We had no idea. I open Instagram. My dad is financially abusive. My story. Olivia sits in the same spot, same ring light, same blurred background. This time she's not crying. She's angry, righteous anger, the kind that makes good content. She tells her audience, now 3.2 million followers, that I've controlled her mother's money for their entire marriage, that Victoria can't make a purchase without my approval, that I monitor bank statements and question every expense. He made her return address once, Olivia says, voice shaking with manufactured fury. A dress she bought for my college graduation because he said it cost too much. The comments section is a firing squad. This is financial abuse. Your mother should divorce him. Men like this are why women can't have independence. The video has 2.9 million views, 96,000 shares. The algorithm loves it. Controversy drives engagement. Engagement drives ad revenue. My daughter has monetized my destruction. I read the comments, hundreds of them, thousands. People I'll never meet, judging my entire life based on 6 minutes of curated content. One comment stops me. I hope his cancer makes him suffer. It has 1,400 likes. My phone rings. Kenneth. Don't read the comments, he says immediately. Too late. William, this is escalating. She's building a narrative, a public case. For what? I don't know, but people don't do this without a reason. Kenneth pauses. I think we need to hire someone. Someone. A private investigator. I should say no. Should defend my family. Should believe that my wife and daughter are just, what? Processing? Struggling? Dealing with my imminent death in unconventional ways. But I think about the empty frame, about Victoria's phone in the doctor's office, about Marcus's name on the visitor log, about that comment. I hope his cancer makes him suffer. Okay, I say, find someone good. The video ends with Olivia looking directly into the camera, tears streaming down her perfectly contoured cheeks. I just want him to get help before it's too late. Too late for what? The private investigator's name is Sarah Chen. No relation to Kenneth, though he jokes that all Chens know each other. She's 48, former police detective, now runs her own firm, specializing in domestic investigations. She meets us at the office after hours. Kenneth called her the same day Olivia posted the second video. Sarah's been watching Victoria for 2 weeks. I don't have good news, Sarah says. She opens a manila folder. Inside, printed photographs, bank statements, phone records obtained through means I don't ask about. The first photo shows Victoria and Marcus at a coffee shop. Close. Too close. His hand on her lower back, her laughing at something he said. Could be innocent, I say. Sarah slides another photo across the table. Same coffee shop, different day. Marcus's hand on Victoria's thigh under the table. Could still be... Mr. Parker. Sarah's voice is gentle but firm. This is from 3 years ago, before your diagnosis. 3 years. She shows me more. Victoria and Marcus at a hotel in Monterey. License plate records show they drove there together in Marcus's truck. Stayed 2 nights. My credit card statements show I was in Seattle that weekend for a conference. How long? I ask. At least 4 years that I can confirm, possibly longer. Kenneth puts his hand on my shoulder. I don't shake him off. Sarah pulls out the last document, a bank statement, joint account at Wells Fargo. 2 names, Victoria Parker and Marcus Reed. Opened 4 years ago. Current balance $63,000. This account doesn't show up on any of your joint statements, Sarah says. It's separate. They've been making regular deposits, $2,000 a month, sometimes more. From where? I'm still working on that. I stare at the bank statement, at my wife's name next to his, at 4 years of deposits I knew nothing about. Kenneth leans forward. Sarah, what are we looking at here? Honestly? She closes the folder. I'm not sure yet, but people don't hide joint accounts unless they're planning something, and they don't plan something unless they're waiting for the right moment. The right moment. 6 months to live, the doctor said. Maybe less. The private investigator slides a single bank statement across the table. Victoria Parker and Marcus Reed. Joint account. Opened 4 years ago. I have 174 days left to live, and I'm starting to think that's exactly what they've been waiting for. The DNA test kit arrives in a plain white box. No markings, no judgment, just a return envelope and 2 cotton swabs sealed in plastic. Kenneth sits across from me in my home office. Victoria is out again. Spa day with friends, she said this morning. She'll be back by dinner. Maybe. You don't have to do this, Kenneth says. Yes, I do. If the test comes back, then I'll know. I turn the box over in my hands. 26 years, Kenneth. 26 years of birthday parties and school plays and teaching her to drive. If none of it was real, I need to know. It was real to you. That's not enough. I go upstairs, Olivia's old bathroom, the one she used before moving out 3 years ago. Victoria hasn't touched it. Some kind of shrine to our daughter's childhood. Pink towels, a curling iron that hasn't worked since 2019, a toothbrush holder with 1 brush remaining. I take the toothbrush, green handle, worn bristles, probably 5 years old, but that doesn't matter. DNA lasts. Back in the office, Kenneth watches me seal the evidence bag. My hands shake, not from the cancer, from something worse. Results take 3 to 5 business days, I say. William, I have 174 days to live. I seal the return envelope. I can wait 5 more. Kenneth finds the text messages by accident. He's helping me organize digital files for the estate attorney, passwords, account access, the kind of documentation you need when you're dying. We're logged into my iCloud account when he notices something strange. "William," he says slowly, "why does Victoria's phone back up to your account?" "She set it up that way years ago. Easier for photo sharing." Kenneth clicks on the backup folder. "Her messages are here too. So I can see them." He turns the laptop toward me. All of them. The screen shows a message thread. Victoria to Olivia. 18,247 messages. The earliest one is dated June 2021, 3 years before my diagnosis. Kenneth scrolls to the beginning. His face goes pale. "William, you need to read this." The first message is from Victoria. "Marcus thinks we should wait until after the IPO. More money on the table." Olivia's response, "How long?" 2 years, maybe 3. We need the valuation to peak." "And if he gets suspicious?" "He won't. William trusts me." Kenneth looks at me. "Do you want me to stop?" I shake my head. "Keep going." He scrolls. The messages unfold like a script, a plan, a conspiracy written in blue and gray text bubbles. Victoria to Olivia, September 2021. "When the time comes, we'll need documentation, medical records, evidence of decline." Olivia to Victoria, December 2021. "What if he doesn't get sick?" Victoria to Olivia. "Everyone gets sick eventually. We just have to be patient." Kenneth's hand hovers over the mouse pad. "This is before your diagnosis." I know. He keeps scrolling. March 2023. "My diagnosis comes in April." Victoria to Marcus, March 18th, 2023. "It's happening. Doctor called. Pancreatic cancer, stage 3. Marcus to Victoria. "How long?" "Year, maybe 2. We move into position now." Victoria to Olivia, April 2nd, 2023. "Your father has cancer. Liver mets confirmed. This is our window." Olivia to Victoria. "What do you need me to do?" "Start building the narrative. Public opinion matters for contested wills. Make him look unstable, controlling, abusive. Create documentation." Olivia to Victoria, April 15th, 2023. "First video posted, 2.0 views. Comments are brutal." Victoria to Olivia. "Perfect. Keep going. We need a pattern." Kenneth stops scrolling. The office is silent except for the hum of the computer fan. "They planned this," I say. My voice sounds distant. "Before I even got sick, they were planning this." Kenneth finds more. Messages between Victoria and Marcus about the joint bank account. Discussions about moving money. References to after William's gone and the settlement and splitting assets. Then he finds the message that changes everything. Victoria to Olivia, June 2023. "He can never find out about Marcus." Olivia to Victoria. "You mean the affair?" "I mean everything, including you." There's a pause in the thread. 37 minutes where neither of them types. Then Olivia responds, "I've known since I was 18, Mom. You told me yourself that Marcus is my biological father. And you can never tell William the will." I know. I'm not stupid. I'll play the dutiful daughter until it's over. Victoria to Olivia. "Good girl." The timestamp shows August 2023, 5 months ago. Kenneth closes the laptop. "William," she knew. I stand up, walk to the window. Olivia knew for 8 years that I wasn't her father, and she never said anything. She was waiting for me to die. I press my forehead against the glass. It's cold. Everything is cold. Tell me in the comments, if you were William, would you walk away from everyone or give Kenneth a chance to prove found family is real? Kenneth stands beside me. "I'm not going anywhere." "You should." "William, everyone else has. Why shouldn't you?" He puts his hand on my shoulder, firm, grounding, "Because everyone else is wrong." The DNA test results arrive on a Wednesday. I'm alone when I open the envelope. Kenneth offered to be here, but I need to do this myself. Some truths you have to face in private. The envelope is thin, official, the lab's blue logo in the corner. "Confidential results" stamped in red across the seal. I tear it open. The language is clinical, professional. But one number stands out, circled in black ink by whatever technician processed the sample. Probability of paternity 0.0%. Below it, in smaller text, alleged father is excluded as the biological father of the child. This conclusion is based on testing results obtained from the analyses of the DNA loci listed above. 0%, not 5%, not unlikely. 0. I read it 3 times, 4 times. The number doesn't change. I sit down, stand up, sit again. My body doesn't know what to do with this information. 26 years. 26 years of loving someone who isn't mine. Who was never mine. Who knew she wasn't mine and never told me. The technician said results take 3 to 5 business days. I had 174 days to live when I sent the test. Now I have 169 days left, and none of them include my daughter. Kenneth finds me in the office at midnight. I'm still holding the DNA results. The paper's wrinkled now, damp from where my hands have been gripping it. William, he takes the chair beside me. Tell me what you need. I need to understand. My voice cracks. I don't try to fix it. How does someone stop being your daughter? One piece of paper and suddenly 26 years just, what, disappear? They don't disappear. Don't they? She's not mine, Kenneth. The birthday parties, teaching her to ride a bike, staying up all night when she had pneumonia in 3rd grade, paying for college, walking her through her first heartbreak. None of it matters because the DNA says she's not mine. It all matters because you showed up. I showed up for a lie. Kenneth is quiet for a long moment. Then he says, do you remember the day we signed the founding documents? Kenneth, humor me. He leans back in his chair. What did you say when I asked what you were going to do with your share? I close my eyes. See that tiny rented office, the folding chairs, the cheap champagne. I said I was doing it for Olivia. No. Kenneth's voice is gentle but firm. You said I built this for you. Those exact words, and I said to Olivia then. But you shook your head. I opened my eyes. I don't remember. You said, no, I built this for you, for us, for everyone who believed this was possible. You pointed at the documents, at the dedication you wrote, and you said, Olivia is why I started, but this company, this legacy, it's for all of us. That's not what the dedication says. No, but it's what you meant. Kenneth pulls out his phone, shows me a photo I've never seen. The two of us in that office 26 years ago, young and exhausted and hopeful. Behind us, visible on the wall, is a whiteboard covered in code and diagrams. In the corner, in my handwriting, we built this for them, not her. You've been building something real your whole life, Kenneth says, a company that employs 240 people, software that helps thousands of small businesses, mentorship programs, scholarships. You've touched hundreds of lives, William. That doesn't disappear because of DNA. But Olivia was the match that lit the fire, but the fire belonged to you. He leans forward. I asked you once, how do you mourn someone who never existed? Here's my answer. You don't. Because the love you gave was real. The father you were was real. That's not taken away by a test result. I look at the DNA report. At that 0, at the end of everything I thought I knew. So, what do I do now? I ask. Kenneth stands, holds out his hand. Now, we figure out what they're really planning, and we make sure they don't get away with it. I take his hand. That's when Kenneth says, let me tell you who you really built this for. Sarah calls the next morning with information she didn't want to send digitally. Kenneth and I meet her at a diner 3 blocks from the office. She looks tired, dark circles under her eyes. The kind of exhaustion that comes from discovering things you wish you hadn't. Olivia is pregnant, Sarah says without preamble. The words take a moment to land. What? 12 weeks. I found OBGYN records. She's been seeing Dr. Patricia Morrison at Valley Medical for the past 3 months. Kenneth orders coffee. I can't speak. There's more. Sarah slides her phone across the table, shows me a photo from a private Instagram account, not Olivia's public one. This one has 37 followers, family and close friends only. The photo shows a pregnancy test, 2 pink lines. The caption, "Best day of my life." Marcus is tagged in the photo. She's having his baby, I say. Yes. Marcus's grandchild. Sarah nods. Due date is March 15th. March 15th, I do the math. 6 months from now, 3 months after my projected death date. They were planning the nursery in my house, I whisper. Kenneth's hand tightens on his coffee cup. What? The 3rd bedroom. Victoria mentioned converting it last month, said she wanted to turn it into a meditation space. I look at Sarah. They weren't going to wait until after I died. They were going to move Marcus in while I was still alive. Sarah closes her phone. Mr. Parker, I've been doing this job for 14 years. I've seen a lot of ugly divorces, a lot of affairs. But this? She shakes her head. This is something else. This is premeditated, coordinated. They've been setting the stage for years. For what? I'm not entirely sure yet. But based on the text messages Kenneth showed me, I think they're planning to contest your will. Olivia's videos aren't just about hurting you. They're building a public record, evidence of your alleged instability and abusive behavior. If you change your will now, they'll argue you weren't of sound mind. Can they do that? They can try, especially if Olivia keeps posting content about your supposed cognitive decline. Sarah pulls out a folder, which brings me to the next problem. She shows me printouts, screenshots from Olivia's social media. Not the public posts. These are from a private Discord server. Olivia talking to other influencers about monetizing family drama and maximizing engagement through controversy. One message reads, "Next video drops Saturday. Dementia angle should hit 5M views easy." Kenneth reads over my shoulder. She's planning another attack. Not just planning, Sarah says. She's scheduled it. The video is already recorded, set to auto-publish this Saturday at 9 a.m., peak engagement time. What does it say? Sarah meets my eyes. That you're showing signs of dementia. That Victoria is scared. That you've become paranoid and unstable. She's going to recommend that you undergo psychiatric evaluation. The diner suddenly feels too small, too bright, too loud. They're trying to declare me incompetent, I say. Yes. Before I can change my will. Yes. Kenneth slams his palm on the table. Coffee sloshes. Other diners look over. We need to move faster. We are. Sarah gathers her papers. I've already contacted your attorney. He's drafting the new will today. You need to sign it before Saturday. And the DNA test? I ask. Sarah's expression softens. That's your call, Mr. Parker. You can use it to challenge paternity, remove Olivia from the will entirely. But it will be public. Messy. I think about that 0, about 26 years of love that doesn't count because biology says so. I think about Olivia knowing the truth since she was 18, keeping it secret, weaponizing our relationship for views and money and inheritance. Use it, I say. Kenneth looks at me. William, are you sure? They wanted to play this game in public. I stand up. My legs are steady now, certain. So, we'll play it in public. The due date was March 15th. I'd be dead by then. They were planning the nursery in my house. I start noticing the other empty frames that night. Victoria isn't home. Dinner with friends, the text said. I walk through the house with new eyes, seeing things I've been trained not to see. The hallway that used to have 8 family photos now has 3. The missing ones weren't recent removals. The walls are slightly darker where frames used to hang. These pictures have been gone for months, maybe longer. I check the mantle again. The wedding photo spot isn't the only empty space. There was a frame on the left side too. One from Olivia's high school graduation, gone. The bookshelf in the living room used to display our anniversary photo, 15 years, 20 years, 25. All three frames are gone. In their place, decorative bowls, candles, objects without memory. Victoria is erasing me, has been erasing me, systematically removing evidence that we were ever a family while I was too sick to notice. I find more photos in the garage. Not torn this time, just discarded. Thrown in boxes marked donate, along with my old clothes, my books, my college textbooks I've kept for 30 years. Me holding infant Olivia in the hospital. Me and Victoria at Yosemite. Me teaching Olivia to swim. Me at our 20th anniversary dinner. Every photo with me in it. Gone. The ones that remain show Victoria and Olivia together. Mother and daughter. No father needed. I carry the boxes back inside. Set them in the living room. Wait. Victoria comes home at 11. She's laughing at something on her phone. Probably a text from Marcus. She sees me sitting in the dark surrounded by boxes and stops. William, what are you doing? Looking at photos. It's almost midnight. Where were you? I told you. Dinner with... Who? Her eyes narrow. What's going on? I pull out the hospital photo. Me holding Olivia hours after she was born. My face is exhausted and ecstatic. Victoria is sleeping in the background. When were you going to tell me? I ask. Tell you what? That she's not mine. The color drains from Victoria's face. For 3 seconds, maybe 4, I see something real. Fear. Then it's gone, replaced by the mask she always wears. I don't know what you're talking about. The DNA test came back, 0% match, which means you've been lying to me for 26 years. Victoria sets down her purse. Her hands are steady, practiced. William, you're not thinking clearly. The cancer has nothing to do with this. I stand up. I know about Marcus, about the joint account, about the text messages. I know Olivia has known since she was 18. I know about the baby. Each sentence lands like a punch. Victoria's mask cracks, repairs, cracks again. You went through my phone, she says quietly. You backed it up to my iCloud. That's a violation of privacy. So is a 26-year affair. She picks up her purse. I don't have to listen to this. Victoria. My voice stops her. One question, just one, and if you lie, I'll know. She turns, waits. Did you ever love me? The silence stretches. 5 seconds, 10, 15. Does it matter? She finally says. Answer the question. Victoria looks at me, really looks, for the first time in months, maybe years. I loved what you could provide, she says. That was enough. She walks upstairs. I hear her bedroom door close, lock. I sit down in the living room surrounded by discarded memories and realize I'm crying. Not for Victoria, not even for Olivia, for the man I was 26 years ago who signed those founding documents and genuinely believed love was enough. The attorney's office smells like leather and old money. James Morrison has been my lawyer for 15 years, handled the company's legal issues, my estate planning, 2 failed patent lawsuits. He's good at his job, which means he's expensive and thorough. This will be contested, James says, reviewing the documents. You understand that? Yes. Victoria will argue undue influence, diminished capacity due to your illness. Olivia's videos provide supporting evidence for that claim. Kenneth sits beside me. Can they win? Unlikely, but they'll try, and it will be expensive. James looks at me over his reading glasses. William, are you certain about this? We can draft a more moderate version. Reduce Olivia's share without eliminating it entirely. I think about that text message. I've known since I was 18, Mom. About Olivia posting videos calling me abusive while planning to inherit my fortune. About 8 years of lies compressed into blue text bubbles. I'm certain. James nods, turns to his computer. Then here's what I'm proposing. We split your estate 4 ways. 40% to Kenneth with a structured CEO transition plan, 30% to the Parker Foundation, the cancer research charity we established last year, 20% to the Engineering Scholarship Fund for underprivileged students, 10% to an employee profit-sharing trust. And Victoria? Community property laws mean she's entitled to half of assets acquired during marriage. We can't change that. But we can eliminate spousal support by documenting the affair as grounds for divorce. And Olivia, James meets my eyes. $1, standard amount to prove intentional exclusion. She can't claim she was accidentally forgotten. $1 for 26 years of pretending. It seems fair. There's one more element we should include, Kenneth says. A clause about the DNA test. Make the results part of the public record. James frowns. That will be painful for everyone. They made it public first, I say. Olivia's videos have 30 million combined views. If we're going to expose the truth, we do it completely. James types for several minutes. Then he prints 3 copies of the new will. 27 pages. Every asset accounted for. Every relationship severed with precision. I sign on page 27. My handwriting is shaky now, not from doubt, from cancer, from exhaustion, from carrying the weight of other people's betrayal, but I sign. James witnesses, Kenneth witnesses. We date each page. This will take effect immediately, James says. I'll file it with the county by end of day. Good. William, James sets down his pen. There's still time to reconsider. No, I say. There isn't. Olivia's 3rd video goes live Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I'm ready. Kenneth and I watch it together in my office. The view counter spins. 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 in the first hour. This video is different. Olivia isn't crying. She's concerned, daughterly concern, the kind that tugs at heartstrings. I'm worried about my dad, she says. Her voice is soft, gentle, lethal. He's not himself anymore. He's become paranoid, accusing my mom of things that aren't true, talking about people following him. Yesterday he claimed I'm not his daughter. She pauses, lets that land. My mom and I think he needs help, professional help, but he refuses to see a psychiatrist. He says we're all conspiring against him, that we want his money. Another pause. This one longer, more calculated. If you've dealt with a family member showing signs of dementia, you know how hard this is. You want to help, but they push you away. They see enemies everywhere, including in the people who love them most. The comments pour in. This is heartbreaking. Your dad needs intervention. Contact Adult Protective Services. Men with dementia can become dangerous. 3.4 million views by noon. Kenneth closes the laptop. They're establishing incompetence for the will challenge. I know. We need to respond. We will. William, I turn to him. Get Sarah. Get the attorney. Get every piece of evidence we have. I pull out my phone, open the camera app. It's time to tell my side. The lawyer calls an hour later. His voice is tight. William, Victoria just filed for conservatorship. She's arguing that you're not competent to manage your own affairs. She's using Olivia's videos as evidence. Can she do that? She can try. We have a hearing scheduled for Thursday. You'll need to appear in person and demonstrate competency. What do I need to do? Honestly, don't let her provoke you. Stay calm. Be clear. Show the judge you're of sound mind. He pauses. And William, bring the DNA test. The video's caption reads, "Sometimes you have to protect people from themselves. I read it 3 times. They think I need protection. Think I'm too sick, too weak, too far gone to fight back. They're wrong." The lawyer called an hour later. Thursday's hearing will determine if I'm competent to control my own life. I have 96 hours to prove I'm not the man Olivia says I am. I record my response video on Sunday night. No ring lights, no blurred background, no manufactured tears, just me in my home office with my laptop camera and the truth. Kenneth helps me set up. Sarah provides the evidence, printed documents, screenshots, the DNA test results. James the attorney reviews my script to ensure nothing crosses legal lines. Remember, James says, stick to facts, let the evidence speak, don't attack Olivia personally, just present what she did. I know. And William? He adjusts his glasses. Once you post this, there's no taking it back. Your private life becomes public property. Every detail, every document. Are you ready for that? I look at the camera, at my reflection in the black lens. They made it public first, I say. I'm just correcting the record. I hit record. My name is William Parker. I'm 58 years old. I have terminal cancer. And for the past 6 months, my daughter has been telling you lies about me. I speak for 11 minutes. No cuts, no edits, just continuous truth. I show the DNA test results, hold them up to the camera so the 0.0% is clearly visible. This is what my daughter has known since she was 18 years old, that I am not her biological father, that her mother's affair with Marcus Reed produced the child I raised as my own. And instead of telling me, instead of having one honest conversation, she waited. She waited for me to get cancer. She waited for me to become weak. And then she turned me into content. I show screenshots of the text messages, Victoria and Olivia planning, coordinating, waiting for my diagnosis like vultures waiting for death. These messages were sent before I got sick. They were planning this, planning to contest my will, planning to declare me incompetent, and when I did get cancer, they saw their opportunity. I show the joint bank account, Victoria and Marcus, 4 years of deposits. This is where my wife has been hiding money with her lover, $63,000. I didn't know this account existed until 2 weeks ago. I show Olivia's private messages about monetizing family drama and scheduling her dementia angle video for peak engagement. My daughter isn't concerned about my mental health. She's concerned about her inheritance, and she's willing to destroy my reputation to protect it. I pause, look directly into the camera. I spent 26 years being a father to someone who knew I wasn't her father, who looked me in the eye every birthday, every Christmas, every graduation, and said, "I love you, Dad," while planning to take everything I built the moment I died. That's not dementia. That's not paranoia. That's reality. I show the final document, my new will. I'm changing my will. 40% of my estate goes to Kenneth Chen, who has been my true partner for 26 years. 30% goes to cancer research, 20% to engineering scholarships for underprivileged students, 10% to my employees. And to Olivia? I hold up the page, point to the line. $1, the legal minimum to prove I didn't forget her. I'm excluding her intentionally because actions have consequences, and her actions have shown me exactly who she is. I set down the papers, fold my hands. If you've been following my daughter's videos, you've seen her version of our family. You've seen her tears and her allegations and her carefully curated pain. Now you've seen mine. I'm not asking you to forgive me or pity me. I'm asking you to remember that social media isn't truth. It's performance. And sometimes the person crying on camera is the one holding the knife. I reach forward. My hand hovers over the keyboard. Share this if you believe truth matters more than engagement. I stop recording, upload the video to YouTube, to Twitter, to Facebook. Every platform Olivia uses, I use too. The video title, "My Response to My Daughter's Lies, Full Evidence Included." I hit publish at 11:47 p.m. By 12:07 a.m., Olivia loses her first sponsor. The video explodes. Within 20 minutes, 50,000 views. An hour, 500,000. By morning, 12 million. The comment section is a battlefield. Holy shit. I believed her. I actually believed her. The DNA test, though, she knew. This is the most savage will change I've ever seen. $1, fucking brutal. Olivia's previous videos start hemorrhaging views, not gaining, losing. People are deleting their shares, removing their supportive comments, running from their association with her narrative. At 8:17 a.m., Style Beauty announces they're terminating their partnership with Olivia, effective immediately. $25,000 annual contract, gone. At 9:43 a.m., FitLife drops her $30,000. At 11:22 a.m., Tech Gear removes her from their influencer program, $15,000. By noon, all 6 of her major sponsors have issued statements. Variations on the same theme. We do not condone the behavior depicted in recent revelations, and we believe in authentic partnerships built on trust. Olivia's Instagram is chaos. Her comment sections are no longer supportive. They're vicious. You used your dying father for content. How much did you make from those videos? The DNA test has been public record since you were 18 and you never told him? I hope you lose everything. She tries to respond. Posts a story at 2 p.m. There are 2 sides to every story. My truth stands. It gets ratioed within minutes. For every supportive comment, there are 50 condemning her. The algorithm that loved her controversy now buries her under it. By 6 p.m., she's lost 2.3 million followers, down from 5.6 million to 3.3 million. The exodus continues through the night. Kenneth shows me the analytics. Her engagement rate dropped 92%. Brands won't touch her now. Even if she keeps the remaining followers, she's not monetizable. What about Victoria? Sarah's working on that. Sarah calls at 8 p.m. Marcus lost his gym. His landlord started eviction proceedings. Apparently 43 of his clients canceled their memberships this week. Word travels fast in their circle. And Victoria? Her country club revoked her membership, said something about moral character clauses in their bylaws. Her friends are ghosting her. I watched her call 17 people today. 2 answered. I should feel satisfaction, vindication, victory. Instead, I feel tired. William? Kenneth's voice pulls me back. The conservatorship hearing is tomorrow. Are you ready? Yes. Victoria's attorney is going to use the video against you, argue that your public response proves instability. Let them try. They will. And William? Kenneth's expression is serious. They're going to bring Olivia. She's testifying against you. Of course she is. Tomorrow I stand in front of a judge and prove I'm competent to control my own life. My daughter will stand beside my wife and swear I'm not. Within 20 minutes, Olivia lost her first sponsor. By morning, all 6 were gone. The courtroom is smaller than I expected. Judge Patricia Reeves presides. She's 63, appointed by the governor, known for being fair but efficient. James assures me this is good. Efficiency means less time for Victoria's theatrics. Victoria sits at the opposing table with her attorney, Marcus Hayes. No relation to me, unfortunately. He's good, expensive suit, polished presentation, the kind of lawyer you hire when you're planning to lie under oath. Olivia sits behind them. She's dressed conservatively. No influencer aesthetic today. Dark dress, minimal makeup, hair pulled back. Playing the role of concerned daughter. She won't look at me. This is a hearing to determine competency, Judge Reeves says. Victoria Parker is petitioning for conservatorship of her husband, William Parker, on grounds that he's unable to manage his own affairs due to terminal illness and alleged cognitive decline. Mr. Parker is contesting this petition. We'll hear testimony from both sides. Victoria's attorney stands. Your Honor, We'll demonstrate that Mr. Parker has exhibited increasingly erratic behavior over the past 6 months. Paranoid delusions, unfounded accusations, financial decisions made in anger rather than sound judgment. He calls Victoria to the stand first. She takes the oath, sits down, folds her hands in her lap, perfect posture, perfect victim. Mrs. Parker, can you describe your husband's recent behavior? It's been difficult. Victoria's voice trembles, on cue. William has always been intense, but since his diagnosis, he's become suspicious, accusatory. He's convinced I'm having an affair, that our daughter isn't his, that we're conspiring to steal from him. And are these accusations true? No. I've been faithful for 26 years. Olivia is his daughter. I've dedicated my life to this family, and now he's rewriting history because he's scared and angry about dying. Marcus Hayes pulls out a tablet, shows Victoria something. Is this the video your husband posted on Sunday? Yes. How did that make you feel? Devastated. He exposed private family matters to millions of strangers. He humiliated our daughter publicly. And for what? To win some kind of imaginary battle he's created in his mind. Your Honor, James stands. The evidence Mr. Parker presented in that video was verified by 3 independent sources. DNA test results from Gene Lab Diagnostics, bank records subpoenaed through legal channels, text messages obtained from a shared iCloud account that Mrs. Parker created herself. Marcus Hayes turns to the judge. Your Honor, the issue isn't whether the evidence exists. It's whether a man in Mr. Parker's condition should be making irreversible financial decisions based on that evidence. We're asking for conservatorship to protect him from himself. Judge Reeves makes a note. Call your next witness. Olivia takes the stand. She doesn't look at me. Keeps her eyes on the attorney, on the judge, anywhere but the man who raised her. Miss Parker, tell us about your relationship with your father. It's complicated. Olivia's voice is steady, rehearsed. I love my dad. I do. But he's not the same person he was before the diagnosis. He's become paranoid, controlling. He's convinced himself of things that aren't true. Such as that I knew about some alleged affair before he did. That I'm only pretending to care about him to get his money. She pauses, wipes her eyes. No tears actually fall. I posted those videos because I was genuinely worried. My dad was making wild accusations, refusing treatment, pushing everyone away. I thought if I shared what was happening, maybe someone could help him. And the DNA test? He demanded it, out of nowhere. Said he didn't believe I was his daughter. It broke my heart, but I agreed because I thought it would ease his paranoia. She looks at the judge now. The test came back exactly as I expected. I'm his daughter, but instead of accepting that, he's using some technical reading error to justify cutting me out of his life. Marcus Hayes shows her a paper. Is this the DNA test result? Yes. And what does it say? That there's a 0% probability of paternity. She shakes her head. But the lab technician explained to me that this was likely due to sample contamination. The toothbrush he used was 5 years old. He took it from my old bathroom without telling me. Any number of factors could have affected the result. James rises. Your Honor, that's false. The lab certification shows... Mr. Morrison, you'll have your chance to cross-examine. Marcus Hayes continues. Miss Parker, do you believe your father is capable of making sound financial decisions right now? No. I think he's scared and angry and looking for someone to blame for his illness. And I think giving him total control of his assets in this state of mind is dangerous. She finally looks at me. Her eyes are dry, clear, certain. I love my dad, but he needs help, not independence. James calls me to the stand. I swear the oath, sit down, face the courtroom. My daughter, my wife, their attorneys, all arrayed against me like pieces on a chessboard. James starts with easy questions: my name, my company, my medical history, establishing that I'm lucid, articulate, aware. Then Mrs. Parker testified that you've become paranoid, that you're making accusations without evidence. How do you respond? I pull out a folder, the same one from my video. I have text messages between my wife and daughter spanning 3 years. I have bank records showing a joint account I knew nothing about. I have DNA results certified by a licensed laboratory. I have testimony from a private investigator, my business partner, and my attorney. This isn't paranoia. This is documentation. And the decision to change your will is mine to make. I'm dying, Mr. Morrison. I have roughly 4 months left. I'm using that time to ensure my assets go to people who actually care about me, not people who waited for my cancer diagnosis to start their con. Victoria's attorney objects. Your Honor, that kind of inflammatory language is backed by evidence. James interrupts. He turns to me. Mr. Parker, walk us through the text messages. I do. Read them aloud. The planning, the coordination, the message where Olivia admits she's known since 18 that I'm not her biological father. Why didn't you tell him? James asks Olivia directly. She doesn't answer. Judge Reeves makes another note. Marcus Hayes cross-examines me, tries to rattle me, asks about my cancer medications, my pain levels, whether I'm thinking clearly. I'm thinking more clearly now than I have in years, I say. Dying gives you perspective. You stop tolerating lies. Or you start seeing lies where none exist. Mr. Hayes, I ran a $63 million company for 26 years. I employed 240 people. I hold 17 patents. My judgment has been sound enough to build something from nothing. The only thing that's changed is my willingness to be a doormat. The courtroom is quiet. Judge Reeves looks at Victoria, at Olivia, at me. I've heard enough, she says. Mr. Parker is clearly competent. He's articulate, rational, and his financial decisions, while personally painful, are legally sound. Petition for conservatorship is denied. Victoria's attorney stands. Your Honor, we'd like to request... Denied. This hearing is adjourned. The gavel comes down. I won. The will reading happens 2 weeks later. James insists on doing it formally, in his office, with witnesses, everything documented. Victoria attends. Olivia doesn't. Kenneth is there. Sarah. 3 other witnesses, I don't know. James reads the document aloud, all 27 pages. The legalese turns my life into clauses and subsections. To Kenneth Chen, I leave 40% of my estate, including all stock holdings in Parker Technologies and full CEO authority as outlined in the transition agreement we signed in 2024. Kenneth doesn't react. We discussed this, planned it, but I see his jaw tighten slightly. To the Parker Foundation for Cancer Research, I leave 30% of my estate to be administered according to the foundation's charter. To the Parker Engineering Scholarship Fund, I leave 20% to be awarded annually to underprivileged students pursuing STEM education. To the Parker Technologies Employee Trust, I leave 10% to be distributed as profit sharing according to the formula detailed in Appendix C. James pauses, turns the page. To Victoria Parker, I leave only what is required by California community property law, specifically 50% of assets acquired during our marriage, totaling approximately $9.2 million. No spousal support shall be provided as grounds for divorce, namely adultery, have been established and documented. Victoria's attorney whispers something to her. She shakes her head. To Olivia Parker, I leave $1. James sets down the papers. The room is silent. $1, Victoria finally says. That's it. That's it, James confirms. Mr. Parker was very clear. The $1 serves to prove intentional exclusion. Miss Parker cannot contest the will on grounds that she was forgotten. This is ridiculous. We'll fight this. You can try, but your conservatorship petition failed. Mr. Parker has been deemed competent. His decisions stand. James pulls out another document. There's also this clause. He reads, "To those who saw me as a paycheck rather than a person, you get what you gave, nothing. My legacy will support people who believe in building something real, not people who waited for me to die so they could tear it down." Victoria stands. "You can't do this." "I already did," I say. "The will was filed 2 weeks ago. It's public record." "You're punishing Olivia for something that wasn't her fault." "She knew I wasn't her father for 8 years and never told me. She posted videos calling me abusive to build engagement. She participated in your scheme to contest the will and declare me incompetent. None of that was accidental." "She's your daughter." "No, she's Marcus's daughter, and now she's his problem." Victoria grabs her purse, storms toward the door, stops, turns back. "I hope you're happy," she says, "dying alone, bitter, hateful." Kenneth stands. He's not alone. He has 240 employees who respect him, 15 mentees who look up to him, colleagues who actually care, and me. That's not alone. That's just not you. Victoria leaves. The door slams. James closes the file. The will reading is complete and documented. Copies will be sent to all relevant parties. I sign the final page. My signature is barely legible now. Cancer has taken my strength, my energy, my time, but it didn't take my agency. The lawyer read the final clause. "To those who saw me as a paycheck, you get what you gave, nothing." The consequences cascade over the following weeks. Sarah keeps me updated. She's thorough. Sometimes I think she's enjoying this more than she should, but I don't stop her. Olivia's Instagram continues to hemorrhage followers. 3.3 million drops to 1.8 million, then to 847,000. The algorithm has turned against her. Her posts barely crack 5,000 views. She tries to explain, posts a long caption about context and my truth and misunderstood intentions. It gets 247 views. The comments are disabled. Her final video, an apology that doesn't apologize, is her last post, uploaded on a Thursday, 53 views by Friday. By Saturday, her account goes private. The influencer career that took 6 years to build collapses in 6 weeks. Marcus loses his gym. The landlord follows through on eviction. His clients don't just cancel, they leave reviews. 1-star ratings about moral character and trustworthiness. His business was built on personal relationships. Those relationships are gone. He tries to start a new venture, online training, but word spreads fast. His Instagram gets bombarded with comments linking to my video, to the evidence, to the truth. He shuts down the account after 3 days. Victoria's social circle disintegrates. The country club was just the beginning. Her tennis partner stops returning calls. Her book club asks her to leave. The situation makes everyone uncomfortable. Her charity committee removes her from the board. She goes to her sister's house. Her sister turns her away. Within 6 weeks, Victoria moves into Marcus's studio apartment. 800 square feet, 1 bedroom, 2 adults, and eventually a baby. The house they plan to turn into a nursery, my house, goes into escrow. I sell it to a young family with twin girls. They seem happy. Sarah shows me photos. Victoria and Olivia shopping at discount stores, driving Marcus's beat-up truck, living the life they tried so hard to avoid. "Do you want me to keep monitoring them?" Sarah asks. "No, they're not my problem anymore." "William," she closes her folder, "for what it's worth, you did the right thing." "Did I?" "They made their choices. You just made sure those choices had consequences." I look out the window, the office view I've loved for 26 years. Downtown San Jose, spreading out like a circuit board. "Yeah," I say, "I guess I did." Olivia posted one final video. It had 247 views. The comments were off. 6 months later, they hold my memorial service. I'm not there, obviously, but Kenneth tells me about it afterward, says I would have appreciated the irony. The service is held at the Parker Technologies campus, the main auditorium, the one we built 3 years ago for company meetings and product launches, capacity 400. They need every seat. Kenneth speaks first. His eulogy is simple, honest. William Parker believed in building things that lasted, not just companies or products, but relationships, communities, legacies that extended beyond stock prices and quarterly reports. He talks about the founding, the cheap champagne, the late nights, the 26 years of partnership that became family. William wasn't perfect. He'd be the first to tell you that. But he was present. He showed up every day. For every person who worked with him, he showed up. That's rarer than people think. There are 206 people at the service, employees, mentees from the scholarship program, business partners, friends Kenneth didn't know I had. There are 2 reserved seats in the front row, marked with small cards, family. They stay empty the entire service. Victoria and Olivia don't come. Sarah confirms they received the invitation. They chose not to attend. Kenneth notices the empty seats during his eulogy, pauses, looks at them. William once told me that family isn't who you're born to, he says. It's who shows up when things get hard, when you're dying, when you need help, when the world doesn't make sense anymore. He said the people who show up, those are your family. Everyone else is just biology. He gestures to the audience. You all showed up. That made you his family. And he was grateful for every single one of you. The service includes testimonials, employees talking about William's mentorship, scholarship recipients talking about opportunities they wouldn't have had, cancer patients from the support group talking about his generosity even while dying. They plant a tree outside the main entrance, a redwood. The plaque reads, William Parker, 1967-2025. He built this for us. Kenneth tells me that people lingered afterward, didn't want to leave, shared stories, laughed, cried, celebrated a man most of them had known for less than a decade, but who had changed their lives anyway. As people filed out, everyone passed those 2 empty chairs, the ones marked family. Not a single person sat in them. Kenneth took a photo, shows it to me in the hospital 3 days before I die. Thought you'd want to see, he says. I look at the empty chairs, at the 200 occupied seats behind them, at the auditorium full of people who chose to show up. Yeah, I say, that's exactly right. As we filed out, I passed the empty chairs. Victoria and Olivia never came. Kenneth becomes CEO officially in March. My office becomes his office. He keeps most of my furniture but changes a few things, makes the space his own. The founding documents stay on the wall, framed now, protected behind glass. The handwritten dedication visible for Olivia, so she never has to worry. But next to it, Kenneth hangs something new, a photograph. Me surrounded by scholarship recipients, 15 students, first-generation college attendees, studying engineering because the Parker Scholarship made it possible. We're standing in front of the campus, everyone's smiling. Kenneth adds a caption beneath the photo, I built this for them. The pronoun changes everything, not her, not you, them, the students, the employees, the community, the legacy that extends beyond blood and DNA, and who happen to share genetic material. Kenneth holds a meeting his first week as CEO. All 240 employees attend. William Parker started this company with a dedication to his daughter, Kenneth says. But somewhere along the way, that dedication expanded. It became about all of us, every person in this room, every client we serve, every innovation we create. William built this company for them, for us, and we're going to honor that by continuing to build. He announces the scholarship fund will triple in size, 20 students per year instead of 7. He announces a new initiative, paid parental leave for all employees, 12 weeks, full salary. He announces a partnership with 3 local high schools to create STEM mentorship programs. William believed that legacy isn't what you leave behind when you die, Kenneth says. It's what you build while you're alive that keeps growing after you're gone. We're going to keep growing. The employees stand, applaud. Some are crying. Kenneth looks at the photo on his wall, at me, surrounded by students who will become engineers, who will build their own companies, who will create their own legacies. I built this for them, he says quietly. I die on a Tuesday. Kenneth is there. Sarah, James, my doctor, a few nurses who've become friends. Victoria and Olivia are not invited. My last words are unremarkable. Something about the morphine making everything soft, about being tired, about being ready. But the last thing I see is Kenneth holding my hand. You did good, he says. You built something real. I smile, close my eyes, think about that young engineer in a rented office, about cheap champagne and impossible dreams, about signing documents with a sleeping baby in the next room, about all the years I spent building for one person who didn't want it, and all the people I accidentally built for who did. Family isn't who you're born to, it's who shows up when you're dying. Kenneth showed up, Sarah showed up, 240 employees showed up, 15 scholarship students showed up. Olivia didn't. Victoria didn't. And in the end, that's the only family tree that matters, the one you choose to grow. I want to hear your found family story. Who showed up for you when blood relatives didn't? Drop their name in the comments. They deserve to be celebrated.